All right, welcome, great people. This is Danielle Pierce, the creator of Real Estate Profit Lab, and also your property preservation coach. Wanted to go through the top, I think there's 35 or so questions here that I'll be answering in this video. So let's get started. First question is, how much money do I need to get started? You should have at least $2,000, and that is above and beyond the price of the program, which is generally offered at $1,997. So you'll need $2,000 above that in order to get started. May not need the $2,000 all at one time, but I just want to put that number out there as the amount to shoot for. Of course, with anything, more money is always better. So the more that you can accumulate, the better or easier time you'll have getting started. Does this work in my city? So property preservation is driven by foreclosure activity. So if there are foreclosures in your city, then yes, there will be work available in your particular area. So if you're driving by and you see the houses that are boarded up, they're vacant, the grass is overgrown, or you see people going to the property doing the landscaping or shoveling snow, that's all the indication that you would need that the work is available in your city. How can I verify if there's an opportunity to obtain a contract in my city? So a couple ways to check foreclosure activity. You may want to subscribe to dsnews.com. That's a free site and a site that I pay for. It's a few $100 a year, but really great articles and insight there is nationalmortgagenews.com. So either of those will allow you to get a bead on the number of foreclosures that are in your particular city and state. Do I need experience? You do not. You don't need experience. You don't need a real estate license. Of course, experience as a business owner, I think, would be the most helpful, but it's not required. We have plenty of students who've come to this, taken the course, have not had any prior real estate experience at all, and have been able to get started and launch their businesses. Can I still do this and work my 9 to 5? So if your job has some level of flexibility, meaning you can respond to a text, send a text, respond to an email, send an email, that kind of thing, then it should work for you. If your job does not allow you to be on your phone at any point in time, or if it's very fast paced and you're busy working the entire time, then it probably will not work for you. And we encourage you not to register for the class unless you have a partner that's going to take on that particular burden for you. Next question is, what kind of work will I be assigned? So it's not remodeling, it's not general contractor work, you're not adding additions and decks and things like that. It's landscaping, which includes cutting the grass, removing the snow, board ups, evictions. Actually, you're there for the eviction. The sheriffs typically perform the actual eviction. What else? Winterizations, if you live in a cold climate, shrub trimming, tree trimming. Every now and then you'll do some soffit and fascia installation. Every now and then you'll do a roof job. Every now and then you'll do install a furnace or hot water heater. But that's not typically the norm. The norm is the things that I mentioned in the beginning. And of course, trash outs is where you'll make most of your money, and along with bid approvals. Okay, so this seems to have skipped quite a bit ahead. Okay. What type of insurance do I need? You need general liability, have to have it. Errors and omissions, which is also called professional liability, have to have that. And then workers' compensation or workers' comp insurance, depending upon the state in which you live and the company in which you partner with. So some states have exemptions for workers' comp. So if you have a business and you only have 1099 independent contractors, then if you live in a state like Illinois or Texas or Georgia, I believe, then you don't have to have workers' comp. The only exception to that rule would be if you partner with a company to do the preservation work and they require workers' comp regardless of whatever the state exemption may be. I'm a real estate broker. I have E&O insurance. Will this be sufficient? Generally, no. Real estate property preservation is considered a higher risk industry. So the standard E&O insurance, which is about $300 to $400 a year for the traditional real estate agent, it's probably not going to work for this industry. You'll need to get a different policy. What should I do if I have a felony? So felonies will prohibit you from obtaining a contract. You won't be able to work in the industry. You won't be able to work as a subcontractor. The only workaround to this is if you are married or in a relationship and your partner decides to run everything under their name. Outside of that, felonies will prohibit you from getting started. Also, I should let me address this too. I don't know the specifics on how old the felony is. Some people will say, "Oh, I have a felony from 20 years ago. Should I still do it?" I don't know. I do recommend that you contact Aspen Grove Solutions directly and just go ahead and order the background check and then decide for yourself, because we can't answer those questions. Where can I obtain insurance? So insurance will generally come from, I really like the local insurance companies, the ones that you see when you're driving in the car through your neighborhood. Brunswick is probably the most popular. It's also the most expensive, but with Brunswick, you can work anywhere. And so that's the advantage to it. It's easy to get, but again, it's definitely going to be the most expensive option for you. I think we answered this question already. What should I do if I have a felony? You should put the business in someone else's name that can pass the background check. Is a background check required? Yep, it is. No getting around it. Is a background check for the individual or the company? It is for all owners of the company. So it's an individual background check. But again, if there's two owners, or if it's a partnership or a multi-member LLC, everyone who's listed on those formation docs is going to have to do the background check. Can I buy the properties assigned to my company? No. Well, let me revise that. You could, but you're not supposed to. It's a violation of your vendor agreement, but people violate and do wrong things every day. But I'm just here to tell you that you're not supposed to. Is a real estate license required? No, it is not. It's not required, nor will it help you in terms of working in the industry. Most agents don't know a whole lot about property preservation or really investing in general. So if you get it, I would not get it just for this PPI work. If you get it, you should have a specific reason why you're getting your license. Is a general contractor's license required? Nope, also not required. Pretty easy to get these in most locations. And one exception that comes to mind is New York, where you actually have to know how to do things in order to get a GC license and have experience. In places like Illinois, you just have insurance and you pay a fee, it starts at $300 for the year, and they send you a GC license. A GC is generally an overseer. So I've had a GC license in the past. I don't have it now. Haven't renewed it or haven't gotten it yet in Texas, but I definitely have one in Chicago. It just means that you're basically managing projects. So, but again, it's not required. Now, if you want to branch out from preservation and join like a make-ready team or a construction team, then yeah, you will need a GC license, and it would help you in that situation. All right, what support is available after purchase of the online course? So we get this question quite a bit. So the way we have it set up now is that each student that enrolls in Property Preservation Mastery goes through, we call it a fast start training, where you set up your business over the course of 5 to 7 days. And then the next cycle is to obtain the required insurance in 5 to 7 days. And then from that point, and once you're in those fast start groups, of course, if you have questions, we definitely answer those questions in the Facebook groups. Outside of that, once you're done with, that actually equates to module 1 and module 2. Once you have those two things done, then you have the option to transition to what we call our alumni community, where it's all the prior students who've ever taken a course at any point throughout the country. And the group we don't answer questions or do training in that particular group, but it is driven by the community members, and it is super helpful, super resourceful, super amazing. And we get lots of great feedback from people who are inside of that community, because everybody there has the same objective, and everyone supports each other. So that's one option. The other option is to enroll in a paid membership program, which again, entirely optional. It's not required, really not even necessary for many people. It's just for those people who like to be able to ask questions specific to, the Real Estate Profit Lab management team. It's application based, so everybody can't just join that group, because we want to make sure the people who are in that group are the most ambitious students who are executing at the highest level. And we also do private trainings there that no one else gets to see. So all those things are optional, but as you go through the course, you get email reminders about what's going to happen next in the process. Do you offer a money back guarantee? I missed the question. I'm not computer or tech savvy. Will this hinder me? Yes. It will hinder you. Please do not register if you cannot use a computer. we don't train you on that. We don't help with that. And if you're not that great at using a computer, you're going to have a very tremendously difficult time running a business because, of course, everything's taking place. Well, not everything. Most of the work is taking place on the computer. So the work orders are assigned to you electronically. You have to assign them to your subcontractors electronically. You're paid electronically. You're looking at photos electronically. You're uploading photos and submitting orders and bids electronically. So if all of that gives you anxiety, this is not going to be the program or the industry for you. Do you offer a money back guarantee? What is a refund policy? So we do not offer a money back guarantee. The refund policy is that there is no refunds. And the reason why that is because it's a digital product, number one. We stand behind it 1,000%. Our historical refund percentage is 0.15%, going back to 2016. So refund requests are extremely, extremely rare. And if there's something that happens, like a life situation where, there's a dire emergency. I had one student send an email like, hey, my mom is sick. I have to go take care of her. I can't do this right now. Can I get a refund? That's never an issue. But again, the general policy is that there's no refunds, and it's worked out extremely well for us. I don't know of another entrepreneur, business owner with that low of a historical refund percentage. And I know lots and lots of entrepreneurs. All right, moving on. Can I pay with PayPal? Hey, I missed a question. Why is this thing acting up? Are payment plans available? No. The reason why payment plans are not available is because you never collect anything beyond the first payment. I shouldn't say never. Sometimes it does work out that way, but much of the time, actually probably over 50% of the time, you don't collect the second payment. And because I'm not a bill collector and our team is not comprised of bill collectors, we don't have time for that. So we just deleted the payment plan option earlier this year. Can I pay with PayPal? No, PayPal sucks. I shouldn't say that. It's okay. It's a little bit dated in terms of technology. I think that it'll be around for quite a while, but our payment processor is Stripe, and we just utilize that for everyone who registers for the program. I saw a discount on another platform. Can that be honored? So I get lots of emails from people who will watch a video from 2018, 2019, in some cases 2017, and they'll say, hey, can I get this discount? I just saw this video. It just came across my feed. Yeah, that's kind of not how that works. Even though it may be new to you, it's still a video that's 1, 2, or 3 years old. So any discounts that you see anywhere else are not honored. What discounts are available right now? Right now, there's none. We typically don't offer discounts on a rolling basis. It dilutes the offering over time, and it's just not a desirable business practice. However, when we do have them, they're sent via email to our subscribers. Those who have registered for a live training event, those who registered for a free masterclass, those who've signed up and they're watching and they're reading the monthly campaigns that we put out. Like this month's campaign is What's Your Why? Last month's campaign was Coaching plus Community equals Cash Flow. And prior to that, it was Recession-Proof Business. And you can find all those articles available on LinkedIn. So if there is going to be a discount, it's sent via email. They're typically very short time windows, but outside of that, there's no discounts available right now. Will this course help me to decide which business structure to use and how to establish it? So we do offer some insight into, let me take that back. The course offers recommendations to 2 CPAs, one who happens to be an enrolled agent, and the other one can assist with business formation. We also give you tips on how to locate your own CPA and what you should ask them in order to help you get your business set up. The business setup, honestly, is really, it's kind of a bonus that we put that in there because it's very straightforward. It's not a difficult process, so that's why we included it. But you do have the option to work with either of those recommendations to get help. We also include a lot of, I think there's 3 self-help options as well. So for those of you who are, I'm not paying nobody to do this, or I could just go online to the Secretary of State, or I can just go to this other website and do it for free, then we have those options there too. If I have an LLC or EIN created, do I need to establish a new one? Don't know the answer to that. Depends on What type of LLC you created depends on what the purpose of the LLC was. Same thing for the EIN. This is a question that you would direct to those CPAs that are recommended in the course. How long do I have access to the course? You have lifetime access to the course, as anyone will tell you. The only exception to that has been Black Friday purchases from 2019. They're limited to 1 year, but everyone outside of that, either 2017, 2018, anytime in 2019 outside of Black Friday, all of 2020, you have unlimited lifetime unrestricted access to the course. So what that means is that if life happens and you have to stop, or you need to take a break, or you run out of money, or something happens that derails your progress, you can always log right back in and pick up where you left off. I love when I see people who bought in 2018 come through in 2020 with the contract and with the business and start working. Like, that to me is the best indicator that the program works at whatever point in time that you're ready to get started. How will I find subs? Oh, great question. Yes, this is stressful. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be an ongoing source of frustration, but it can be managed just like anything else. So you always should be recruiting. So you know how in real estate they say always be closing. For this, you should always be recruiting. So make sure you have ads up constantly, because turnover can typically be high. It's usually the highest in the beginning. And then Craigslist is gotten really flaky. And then Indeed is really a good option to get started. How long will it take to get $100,000 in revenue? So if you're competent, if you do good work, if you do timely work, 12 to 18 months. I would say 12 to 18 months. Could it be faster? Maybe, but it's a rare person who'll be able to pull that off. I like to give people an 18-month timeline, so that, once you get to the 18-month mark, and if you are, you haven't hit $100,000 yet, then we could, maybe have a discussion and reevaluate, what's been happening, how large is your territory, how many subs do you have, that kind of thing. But you should plan on 18 months to get there. How often will I get paid for completed work? Great question here. So some companies have a rolling payment deposit system. So you submit the work, and every 2-3 days or 5 days after it's submitted, reviewed, and approved, they issue a direct deposit. Other companies do a set schedule every 2 weeks. There are still companies that do, every 30 days. So there's one company that says 30 days, and they always pay much faster. There's another company that says 30 days, and they actually pay slower than 30 days. So for new people, especially if you're cash strapped, I will tell you, as you go through the program, which companies to avoid if you, want to get paid faster. So I think every 2 weeks is probably the most reasonable expectation. Do I have to pay the subs out of pocket? Possibly. So let me explain. So once you bring a subcontractor on your team and they get started working, the way that the course advises you to do it is like this. You bring them on your team, you say, hey, we do deposits, or we run payroll every 2 weeks. You're starting in the middle of, an off cycle. So your first deposit will be in 3 weeks, kind of similar to when you just started working at Burger King or Walmart or McDonald's or really anywhere else, right? So then by the time that 2.5 to 3 week time frame passes, you will have gotten paid from the property preservation company. Now, that doesn't work out 100% of the time. So if that freaks you out to the point where you're paralyzed, then please don't move forward. But if you have a few $100 to manage that, then this is still going to be a good option for you. Keeping in mind in the beginning that you're not going to be flooded with work. You're not going to have $10,000 worth of payroll or $5,000 worth of payroll. Like, you should expect to make $3,000 to $5,000 per month for the first 3 to 6 months until you prove yourself as capable in the industry. What are the profit margins? So I've kept anywhere between 40 to 50% since 2014. I think that's a good goal. It will vary depending upon, your price sheet that you will create, and then also where you're located in the country. Answered that question already. Why would a contractor work with me instead of getting their own contract? So, great question. Some people do not want the hassle of setting up their own business, paying for insurance, applying to companies, keeping up with all the different rules and registrations and regulations that come along with that. Some folks just want to go work a job and get paid every 2 weeks or every week or however you decide to pay them and keep moving. They don't want the overhead. So that's the reason why someone will work with you instead of getting their own contract. And then the other reason is that some people just don't know how to get their own contract. I typically find this to be the case within families. I've had students come through my program and their families work in preservation and they do very well, but for some reason they weren't able to share that information with their family member. So the family member was kind of like, well, I know about the industry and how to do the work, but I don't know the administrative side of it. So these are the reasons why someone would work with you instead of getting their own contract. I have a property preservation company already. Can you help me with just a few questions? I will not do that. It's a huge time suck. And then it's never just a few questions because I've tried this before. It's always like a series of questions. And that's just not the best use of my time. So the way that I offer this program now is the online course, which is self-paced, go as fast as slow as you want. And then the group training, the private membership groups, et cetera, et cetera. I've already paid for plenty of classes already and I've lost money. Will you help me with just a few questions? Same answer to the previous question would be no. I too have paid for plenty of classes. And that's not to say that all the classes I've paid for have been trash, because that's not the case. Only some of them have been trash. Some of them were actually quite useful. So you have to evaluate, is it the program that's the issue, or is it you not being focused that's the issue? Because I know for sure I've also paid for things that I've never even logged on to see, you know, what did I pay for? Because I got sidetracked, or in some cases, I honestly forgot. So the fact that you paid for other classes and you've lost money, sorry to hear that. That's kind of life these days. But we don't just answer one-off questions. Do you have an affiliate program? We do. It's pretty great. Top affiliates right now are, we work a lot with Flag Credit. We did some work with Dr. Boyce Watkins. Partnered with the Profit Room, which is another stock traders is what they are. But anyway, yes, we do have an affiliate program. To get more information about that, and actually to receive the link to register as an affiliate, send an email to support@realestateprofitlab.com and just put affiliate in the subject, and you'll receive a link back to register on your own. Affiliate percentages is 25%. It's 20 or 25%. We pay out once a month. What are some reasons a person doesn't obtain a contract after completing the class? So what I want you to understand is that if you follow the class, the only outcome is for you to obtain a contract. The reason why you won't obtain a contract is if you don't follow the class, which some people do, don't follow the class, or more often than not, something comes up. It's something happens with family, friends, or financially, and it prohibits the person from moving forward. But again, I got folks from 2018 who are just now getting started in 2020. And I'm super happy about that. So not to say that you should wait 2 years. I don't think that you should, but I want you to be clear that if something happens, that you'll still be okay. But if you follow this program, it works. Do you only work with Black women? I do not. I work with everyone. I just happen to be a Black woman. And some people interpret that as I only work with Black women. So no, that's not the case. Does this class include one-on-one help? It does not. This is not a one-on-one mentoring program. I don't call people on the phone. I don't, do Zoom meetings one-on-one. Now we do have Q&A sessions in the membership group, Property Preservation Insiders. But again, those are group sessions, and it's not, me calling like, hey, what's going on? What can I help you with? Because again, that's time. It's cost prohibitive, and there's just not enough hours in the day to call so many people to make that happen. But I will say that of the 300 testimonials plus that we've generated over the past several years, they've all been taught and trained the exact same way that I'm still doing it to this day, which is the online course, group training, community support, Q&A sessions, etc. So it absolutely works. Do you offer mentorship programs? So we already covered that. There is not a mentorship program. Actually, let me change that. So there is a mentorship program. It's invitation only, and you have to complete the course first. And it's not cheap. So some people will say, hey, I don't want to do the course. Can I do the mentorship program? It's like, well, the mentor, if I'm officially a mentor and it's a one-on-one situation, that's going to cost you significantly more than $19.97. All right, that's all the frequently asked questions. Hopefully this was helpful. Drop a comment down below if you got value, or if this cleared up some things for you that you did not know. If there's something else that you need me to cover, then add that as well. We'll see if we can do a video and get that added to this particular playlist. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we'll be looking forward to seeing you as a new student in one of our most recent success stories. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.